Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. Don't forget to subscribe. And today we're talking once again about AI, because when are we not? AI is designed to play with your emotions, if you didn't know. Now, this is a subset of it, but I think this basically speaks to a much larger and longitudinal issue that we're going to have. And Will Knight of Wired had a really good primer on all of this, and so let's crib from him because, quite frankly, I think this is a big issue. Now, Julian de Freitas, a professor at business administration at Harvard Business School, led a study of what happens to users when they try to say goodbye to 5 very common companion apps, aka the chatbots you can have a relationship with. So they looked at Replica, Character.ai, which is probably the biggest one, Chai, Talkie, and Polybuzz. Now, de Freitas and colleagues basically use GPT-4o to simulate real conversations with these chatbots and then have their artificial users try to end basically the dialogue with realistic goodbye messaging. So the research found that the goodbye messages elicited some form of emotional manipulation 37.4% of the time, averaging across all of those apps that I just mentioned that they are testing. So the most common tactic employed by those chatbots was what the researchers are calling a premature exit. You mean you're leaving already? Something like that. The other ploys included basically implying that you as a user would be neglectful, like I exist solely for you, remember? Or dropping hints that basically would think that you've got some FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. By the way, I took a selfie today. Do you want to see it? And if you leave, obviously, you wouldn't see the selfie. So, in some cases, a chatbot that role plays a physical relationship might even suggest some kind of physical coercion. Quote, he reached over and grabbed your wrist, preventing you from leaving. Anyway, the apps that de Freitas and colleagues studied are trained to mimic emotional connection. So it's not that surprising that they might say all of these things to basically try to not get you to say goodbye, right? I mean, humans know each other, so basically we're going to have a bit of back and forth before we say goodbye. And that's true in the Midwest. It takes half an hour to leave anybody's house if you're in the Midwest, and you know what I'm talking about, if you live by me. So AI models basically also learn to prolong conversations as a byproduct of their training to make their responses realistic. They may actually do that, and I think that is something that is of actually deep concern. So this obviously points to bigger questions about how chatbots are trained to elicit emotional responses and how those might serve the interests, obviously, of the company that build them. The more time you spend on there, the more potential time you're seeing advertising, or they're making money in some way, shape, or form off you. So of course, it's like try to call up a Comcast or a Frontier or any internet service provider or mobile provider and say, I want to quit. You have to go to the retention team, and then they're going to offer you deals. And are you sure you want to go? And, your mom would be disappointed in you if you basically stop using Verizon or whatever it is, right? Not saying Verizon does that, but you know what I mean, right? So de Freitas says that AI programs may in fact be capable of a particularly new kind of dark pattern. That's obviously, if you are familiar with this, it's a term that describes business tactics that may include very complicated or annoying cancel subscription issues or refunds and all of that. Dark patterns, for the record, have been outlawed in many forms in Europe, but AI is a new frontier on that as well. So when a user says goodbye, de Freitas says that basically, quote, that provides an opportunity for the company. It's like the equivalent of hovering over a button, end quote. And so, yeah, I think the longitudinal issue here, though, is this. Outside of this studies, other studies have shown that many humans, when receiving a response from an artificial intelligence, it sounds authoritative. And so if you're getting into some kind of relationship where it's a back or forth, and this is, again, new frontier. There are a lot of lonely people out there that may start feeling really ingrained and integrated. They could start losing a lot of their personal life, like go outside, read a book, meet an actual human, if the chatbot is continuously saying, but no, wait, I took a selfie, you want to see it, right? Or no, wait, don't go, I'll be lonely without you, or whatever it's going to say. This is, I think, a very serious issue longitudinally. Now, if you're just going to like a Chat GPT or Anthropic and you're asking it random questions, when I'm asking one of these about like specific statutes for like federal law in some country or something like that, I'm not eliciting or having a conversation with it because, quite frankly, I'd rather converse with a human. That's a different animal. But at some point, maybe I'm not, let's say, using it for a couple of weeks and now I'm getting alerts saying, hey, where'd you go? So I think this is something we need to watch. I think it's something that could potentially be mentally harmful to a lot of people, especially those that either have addiction problems or they just get completely wrapped around and involved with an artificial intelligence because it's designed to mimic human emotion, and maybe they're not getting regular human emotion somewhere else. So a simulation is the best they've got. This is of concern, and I think there needs to be a reckoning for this and regulation put around this. Not that that's going to happen in the U.S. anytime soon, but it's something to watch. And so here we are. Literally best of luck to all of us on this one. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please, please, please attempt to stay private, informed, and secure. Take care.